The most dangerous lie in combat is believing your weapon will save you. Because history tells a very different story. The gun you trust can jam at the worst possible second. The blade in your hand only works if you're already close enough to die. Even the most advanced missile can be stopped, tracked, or turned against you. Every weapon ever created was designed to dominate, but hidden inside that power is a flaw, a weakness. And in the moment that weakness is exposed, it doesn't just fail you, it can get you killed. From ancient battlefields to modern warfare, the pattern never changes. The stronger the weapon, the more dangerous its weakness becomes. And today, you're going to see exactly how. No matter the era, no matter the technology, there has never been a perfect weapon. Every sword, every gun, every machine built for war carries a hidden trade-off. Power comes at a cost. Speed sacrifices control. Precision creates dependency. And throughout history, those weaknesses have decided battles more than strength ever did. Soldiers didn't just lose because they were weaker. They lost because their weapon failed them at the exact moment they needed it most. That's the reality no one talks about. Because in combat, it's not about how powerful your weapon is. It's about how well you understand its limits. Firearms changed warfare forever. They gave humans the ability to kill from a distance. Fast, precise, and devastating. A single trigger pull can decide life or death in less than a second. No need for strength, no need for proximity, just aim and fire. But that power hides a dangerous weakness. Because a firearm is only as reliable as its moment of function. It can jam, it can misfire, it can run out of ammunition when you need it most. And when that happens, there is no warning. Imagine pulling the trigger in a life or death moment, and nothing happens. That split second of failure is all it takes. In close combat, a gun can even become a liability. Too slow to reload, too awkward to reposition. And suddenly, the weapon that made you feel untouchable becomes the reason you're defenseless. Because in the end, a gun doesn't guarantee survival. It only works until it doesn't. Long before guns existed, blades ruled the battlefield. Swords, knives, daggers, silent, reliable, and always ready. No ammunition, no mechanical failure, just steel and skill. In the right hands, a blade is deadly, fast, precise, and capable of ending a fight in seconds. But that simplicity hides a brutal weakness. Because a blade only works at one distance, the most dangerous distance possible, close. To use it, you must step into your enemy's reach. You must expose yourself to attack. Every strike you attempt puts your own life at risk. There's no safe zone, no second chances. Against ranged weapons, that weakness becomes even more deadly. Before you can even get close enough to strike, the fight may already be over. And even in close combat, skill decides everything. One mistake, one miscalculation, 1 second too slow, and the blade in your hand becomes useless. Because a weapon that demands proximity also demands that you survive long enough to use it. Before firearms took over the world, archery was the ultimate long-range advantage. A skilled archer could strike from a distance, silently, accurately, and without warning. No loud gunshot, no immediate detection, just a single arrow cutting through the air. It was deadly precision. But that precision came with a cost, because every shot demands time. You have to draw, aim, release, reload. And in that process, you're exposed. Unlike a gun, there's no rapid fire. Miss your shot or fail to finish the target, and you've already given away your position. The moment the arrow leaves the bow, your location is no longer a secret. And now, you're the target. In fast-paced combat, that delay can be fatal. Against multiple opponents or modern weapons, the bow struggles to keep up. One shot might be perfect, but perfection doesn't matter if you don't get a second chance. Because a weapon that relies on patience and precision can fail instantly in a world that moves too fast. Explosives are the definition of overwhelming power. One detonation can destroy everything within range. Structures, vehicles, entire groups of enemies in an instant. No precision required, no second strike needed. Just pure, uncontrollable force. But that's exactly where the danger lies. Because once an explosive is triggered, control is gone. There's no adjusting, no recalling it, no stopping what's already in motion. And that means the blast doesn't choose sides. It doesn't care who you are, where you stand, or what the plan was. If you're too close, you become part of the damage. Timing becomes everything. A second too early or a second too late can turn a perfect attack into a deadly mistake. Even the environment can betray you. Confined spaces, unexpected obstacles, or miscalculations can amplify the explosion in ways you never intended. And in that moment, the weapon designed to give you absolute power becomes something you can't control. Because the bigger the destruction, the smaller your margin for error. Modern weapons were designed to eliminate human error. Missiles that can track targets across miles. Drones that see everything from above. Systems built with precision, intelligence, and near-perfect accuracy. On paper, they seem unstoppable, but their greatest strength is also their biggest weakness, because these weapons rely on systems, signals, sensors, software, and anything that depends on technology can be disrupted. A missile can be diverted, a drone can lose connection. A targeting system can be fooled, jammed, or even hacked. And when that happens, the weapon doesn't just fail. It becomes unpredictable. In some cases, it can even turn back toward the one who launched it. The battlefield is no longer just physical, it's digital. Invisible attacks can shut down the most advanced weapons without a single shot being fired. And in that moment, all that intelligence, all that precision means nothing. Because a weapon that thinks for you can also fail without warning. Defense is supposed to keep you alive. Armor, shields, protective gear designed to absorb impact and stop deadly attacks. They give you confidence, the feeling that you can take a hit and keep going. And in many cases, they work. But protection comes with a price. Because the more you protect yourself, the more you sacrifice something else. Speed, mobility, reaction time. Heavy armor can slow you down just enough to make you an easier target. A shield can block your view, limit your movement, and delay your response. And in a fight where seconds decide everything, that delay can be fatal. You might survive the first strike, but fail to avoid the second. In some situations, armor creates a false sense of security. You take risks you normally wouldn't. You move slower, thinking you're safe, until something stronger, faster, or more precise breaks through, because no defense is absolute. And sometimes the very thing designed to protect you is what prevents you from escaping in time. Not all weapons are visible. Some of the most dangerous ones exist only in the mind. Fear, intimidation, misinformation. These are weapons that don't fire bullets, but they can control decisions, break confidence, and destroy judgment in seconds. A single moment of panic can be more deadly than any blade or bullet, because when the mind collapses, everything else follows. Armies have lost battles not because they were weaker, but because they believed they were. But psychological weapons carry a hidden weakness. They're unpredictable. What terrifies one person can fuel another. What breaks one mind can make another more focused, more dangerous. And sometimes fear backfires. It clouds your own judgment. It makes you hesitate, overthink, or act too soon. In trying to control others, you can lose control of yourself, because the mind is not a stable battlefield. And a weapon that depends on emotion can turn against its user without warning. Every weapon we've explored, no matter how advanced, how powerful, or how feared, shares the same truth. None of them are perfect. Each one carries a flaw, a hidden weakness waiting for the wrong moment to appear. And in that moment, it's not the weapon that decides survival, it's the person using it. Because real power doesn't come from what you hold in your hands. It comes from what you understand. The ones who survive aren't always the strongest or the most armed. They're the ones who recognize the limits before those limits recognize them. So the next time you think a weapon makes you unstoppable, remember this. It's not the weapon that keeps you alive. It's knowing exactly when it can fail.